There we are. Welcome back, everybody. All right, I am being called to my wild unknown archetypes. So I think we're going to do a collective archetype. I'm going to work with the book on this one. It'll be a little bit different. A little different. Okay. All right. Spirit, let's work into a collective reading with the Archetypes Guidebook, The Wild Unknown. Really? Okay, I'll go with it. Four or five? Five? Okay. Okay, the river. The selves. Where's the river? I think it's in the places. The places, the river. Okay. Right. Starting off that one. There's a reason so many rituals of change and rebirth take place in the river. It is forgiveness embodied in physical form without asking anything in return. The river washes away what is no longer necessary, smoothing over sharp edges and accepting all our mistakes and grievances. Once we step in, we are no longer in control. The river carries us farther down the stream of transformation than we planned to go. Its waters have a special gift for reflecting back to us a new and dreamlike vision. Once the tears have passed, we see ourselves as we haven't before, with a little more lightness, grace, and fluidity. Keep in mind the you that stands within. The river is the real you, full of deep emotion and potential, nothing to hide, nothing to judge. May you drink in the sight of your true self. So when in the light, it's talking about acceptance, grace, reflection, and forgiveness. When in the dark, it's representing torment of emotions, flooding, and overwhelm. So what I'm getting with this card is that we are recognizing now what is within us. We're recognizing who we are. We're recognizing who we want to become and to be. And I think we are recognizing what's serving us and what isn't. And I think it's about releasing that what doesn't and becoming what is. The threshold. Let's see, is that it? Yeah. Okay. So the threshold. We cross thresholds continually, consciously and unconsciously. Doorways, gates, and entryways grace our path on a daily basis. When this card arises, it signifies that the precipice you stand upon is not your typical one. However, you have arrived at the threshold of initiation. Here to usher you into a new reality, it requires you to leave behind the you that you thought was so well formed. A new frontier calls. This is not easy work. Threshold initiation means a part of you will be lost in order to make space for what is. Is there an echo in here? Did I not just say that? A metaphorical death must occur. Some may not recognize you. You may struggle to recognize yourself. The ground seems to crumble as you free fall into your new reality. This is the liminal realm. One step, dear friend. Just take that one necessary step towards the future that calls you. This card is literally the epitome of my new beginning after I woke up again in my car. It's really bringing that out. When in the light, it represents growth, individuation, and an ease in the liminal. So becoming an individual, but your true self. When in the dark, resisting, refusal to grow, and barriers and boundaries. Okay? The next one we have is the cave. Can we make that bigger? No. What about, can we? Oh. The threshold, the cave. Oh, right here. Okay. The cave, the dark, the portal, the interior. Those who are fortunate enough to find and enter the cave are forever changed. It is a place of potent power, acting both as a portal to another realm and a space for sacred ritual and initiation. The cave is a place to return for meaningful retreat, where one can see the true self in the darkness. In esoteric teachings, the cave is known to reside in the center of the heart. Within its walls, the whispers of comparison and self-understanding can be heard. Yet because of its mystery and power, many of us fear the cave and never try to find it. We busy ourselves in the bright lights of the city, while the cavernous and dimly lit chamber calls out to us in the night. Where is your cave? You already know, so return to it and tend the fire. The cave is representing the sacred center within, or the withdrawal, the isolation, and the hiding. So some of you might be hiding out. I know I've been hiding out. I've been in isolation for the last 3 years due to the dumbass gang stalkers. The next card we have is the empty room. the vortex, the abyss, the nothing. The empty room haunts us all. It is a universal and all too frequent feeling of lack, of wanting, of the craving to fill ourselves with something, anything. We too often attempt to remedy the discomfort of the empty room by any means necessary, leading us to a culture of more. Ironically, the empty room is filled to the brim with potential, yet we perceive it as not enough. This card is a cry for patience, for sitting within the barren walls of not knowing, for awaiting true vision and purpose before attaching to what we should do next, to save our outward appearance. Be with the nothingness, be with the impatience. The empty room has immense power. Let others wonder what you are doing. If you can settle into the magic of emptiness, you will soon hear its whispers of wisdom. It's representing the spacious potential and possibility. And in the dark, it's addiction, insatiability, and more of more for more's sake. The next one is the animal. Sid, thank you so much. The animal, the selves, I think. The animal. The beast, the wild one, the wolf. We are mammals. The hair on our chest and in between our legs reminds us so. We try hard to deny our unrefined animalistic nature, yet through this archetype we tap into the power and direction. Activating the animal within means reawakening our relationship to nature in the most broad and embodied sense. Drinking from waterfalls, roaring at the moon, opening eyes underwater, eating the berries from the vine. The life force of our planet begs us to set down the devices and constraints and the social constructs and remember the warm blood that pulses through our veins. The animal longs for breath, food, procreation, and physicality. It wants soil under our nails and starlight on our skin. If this all sounds terribly unsophisticated to you, take note that it is said that when Buddha became enlightened, he roared like a giant lion. In the light, it represents vital elemental alive and dances. In the dark, it represents savagery, pent-up emotion, and lashing out. So for the base, I do feel that we're finding who we are. We're finding what we're meant to be. We're finding our true essence of self. As within, so without. As above, so below. And we're coming into our true nature. And I do believe this is some sort of an enlightenment. This could very well represent some sort of an awakening to our true selves and our true potential. I'm going to move on to the next level. We got the dead end. Where is this one? I think it's still in the places. The dead end. Yeah. Okay. About halfway through. The closed door, the final chapter, the impasse. Contrary to what its name implies, the dead end is very much alive. It is a force that stops us from moving forward as planned. It is the thick, dense, uncompromising, a wall beyond all walls. With every blamable thorn and stone, it simply states, no more, child. You have reached the last page of this chapter. It is natural to resist, its very resistance and struggle even harder to make our way, to prove our point, to hold on to what was. In this way we fight with the life itself. From a mythic perspective, the end that you face is very much a beginning. There are doors opening all around you, just not the ones you planned on walking through. If you're honest and courageous enough to accept, adjust, and adapt, the dead end becomes known as life's beginning. So when in the light, it's about accepting, it's about humility, it's about relief and reverence for change, no matter what that might be. In the dark, it's about inertia, stuckness, tension, unconscious gripping. It's coming back to that whole idea of that holding onto the rope in the last fire signs read. It's about holding onto the rope when it's basically burning your hands. Is it time to let go? You probably want to let go, but if you let go, you're falling. You know, you're having to, you're going to allow the you're going to allow the incoming choice of letting go to behave you, right? We got the vow. The tools. The vow, the promise, the oath, and the contract. When the vow is spoken, the air shifts, karmic ties are formed, and destiny tilts on its axis. Our words and intentions have immense power. There's a reason for the great mythic stories of our past, often including the recitation of oaths and the mixing of drops of blood as a mark of union. The tricky part is that reciting the vow, no matter how casually, activates the eternal and unseen forces of the world. The ancestors bear witness, the laws of nature respond, and these promises cannot be unsaid or forgotten. So breaking them can leave lingering complexities and loose ends. This card calls us to acknowledge the vow that we are living by, consciously or unconsciously, and either recommitting to it or to create a ritual that signifies its closure. You've been underestimating the power of your promises. In the light, it's bearing witness to the shift towards destiny. In the dark, it's unconscious vows, unkept promises, and messy karma. We got the maiden coming up next. The virgin, the princess, the innocent. There you go, Max. You don't need to be working up a sweat tonight. All right, so the maiden, the virgin, the princess, and the innocent. The maiden archetype is the epitome of innocent arousal, naive sensuality, and precarious purity. She's compelling and addictive because of her flawless and youthful glow. She's the first archetype in the trifecta of maiden, mother, and crone, and rightfully so, because she has oh so much to learn. The maiden is perfectly positioned for trouble to come her way and subject her to a challenge that leads to the next phase of womanhood. She must grow up, yet hesitates at the threshold, enamored by the charm of youth. The maiden represents the side of us that is riveted and curious, drawn to shadowy forests, dark nights, and taking just one taste of poisonous fruit. Her magic is edgy, and it includes both shame and delight. Let yourself fall down the rabbit hole, young one. When in the light, it's curious, it's enchanting, it's sensual, it's full of vitality. And when in the dark, it pretends, projects, denies, and fantasizes. And then we have the father. The great father, the masculine, the protector. Alongside the mother, the father resides in the central axis of the archetypal family. The father embodies both light and dark aspects of the masculine. Thus, he is infinitely dynamic and complex. His energy is strong and regal, embodying such virtues as honesty, wisdom, and loyalty. Yet ironically and simultaneously, the father is often absent, literally or emotionally. Through absence or action, the father eventually reveals that he is neither a king nor a god, but a human being with many flaws and wounds. He is both the guardian and the one who leaves us and one who leaves us to the wolves. Here, yet gone, the champion and the failure. The father can never resolve or escape this duality. It is inherent in the archetype itself. Witnessing the father's limitations allows the child to grow beyond the family and into the world. When in the light, it's supportive, it's strategic, it's regal, kind, authority. When in the dark, it's disappearing, it's disappointing, devastated by failures. And that's the second. Now this is also speaking of renewing yourself, stepping into a new way of looking at things. It's a new perspective. And recognizing the curiosity within yourself. Remembering the vow before you came here to earth. Remembering the fact that with every ending, there's a new beginning. To be curious, but to know that in essence, there will be times of failure, there will be times of success. And it's the ebb and flow of understanding and evolution of who we are. The balancing of the masculine and feminine. The next one we have is the seed, the beginning, the origin, the pearl. Beginnings come in many forms. They are not always a beautiful seed placed intentionally in nourishing soil. Origin stories, like any birth story, are complex, surprising, multi-layered, and usually reveal a central image or detail that represents the fully formed being. Simply stated, the end is present in the beginning, or the entire oak tree resides within the acorn. Whether you follow this imaginal theory or not, know that when this card appears, there is potent generative energy all around. It stirs your very insides and usually results in an antsy, impatient feeling. Pay particular attention to what agitates you, as it is a sure sign of growth to come. You are bumping up against a growth edge, and it is from this grit that the pearl eventually comes to be. When in the light, it's generative, fertile, germinating, and building. When in the dark, it's festering, it's stewing, and it's dormant. The next one is the vessel, the places. Okay. I'll just check it out first. See where it is. The places, the vessel. Nope. Okay. The tools. Oh, yeah, the tools. Right at the end. Okay. Tools. The vessel, the body, the container, the cup. The vessel may be the most powerful archetypal form on earth. It is everywhere. Cups hold liquids, stoves hold fire, our bodies hold organs, our homes hold families. Through the simple act of separation, the vessel protects what it contains. Nests protects the eggs. Savings accounts protects our earnings. Even the planets are contained within their circular orbit. When this card appears, it's time to assess what is being held together, and how is the vessel too tight, and how. Is the vessel too tight, too loose, too broken, empty, full, or perhaps there is no vessel at all, and the contents spill in every direction? It is natural for structures to be formed and eventually fall apart. The vessel has a life cycle that must be honored. It is time for you to build, break, or repair. You must find out. When in the light, it represents stable, strong, and graceful. In the dark, it's trapped. It's being in the bubble. The next one we have is the Queen. Is this it? Yep. The Queen represents the Empress, the Mother Queen, and the Sovereign. Like her counterpart, the King, I thought the King was out here, but I guess not. Oh, it was the Father. Like her counterpart, the King, the Queen has a dualistic nature. Either she presides over the realm with grace and eloquence that comes from the heavens to uplift the spirit of others, or she falls into petty contemptuous moods, casting a shadow across the land. If the king is the ego, the queen is the expression of that ego in the world. She is the lotus's bloom, the dancer's bow, the moon's radiant reflection. When the queen is seated in her rightful and righteous place, she is patient and forgiving. She waits for the grace of God and goddess to move through her. She's striving and grasping for nothing. To be the benevolent leader, to embody the queen, is to settle into deep trust, resolve, and power. The royal queen fears nothing, for divinity itself cradles her heart. So what I'm getting from this level is the fact that we are recognizing what we are holding on to. We are recognizing our sovereignty, and we are recognizing what we have capable within us to move forward. Okay, so this is all showing very much a transformation for the collective, of reassessing and reevaluating what is meant for us and what isn't. It's bringing us into an awakening of who we actually are and what we have capable to not only ourselves, but the people around us. The next level up is the kiss. And there's a moon here, so that should help me find it. Where are you? The places? Probably not. The tools? Maybe. I doubt it, but maybe. Oh, it's there. Alright. The touch, the chemistry, the sex. Before a first kiss, the air is electrified. Each breath is alive with possibility and magic. What will their lips be like? Their tongue? Do they want me in return? The archetypal energy of the kiss is the heightened sensation of merging with another, of letting in what was moments ago separate. Two become one. It is a risky but beautiful business. These moments forever change us as we move past the solidarity self towards union and acceptance. This card suggests true intimacy is around the corner, which requires bravery and surrender. When the kiss takes a non-human form, it may be experienced as touching the sacred, hearing a whisper, or being graced by a divine being. You'll recognize the presence of the kiss by cold chills and an awakening of the heart. In the light, it's representing sensual expressiveness and emerging, inviting. In the dark, it's a neediness, it's a pressure, it's a dominance and a disrespect. The next one is the eternal child. Pray tell where that one is. I don't know. I think it's in the selves. Is it in the selves? I think. Yeah, third one, fourth in. Okay. So the internal child, the inner child, the child of joy. The eternal child is connected to the timeless, ageless, and infinite aspects of life. It is a radiant and fearless and seeks joy above all else and at any cost. It struggles being bound to an aging body with physical limitations in a world that demands attention to detail and the logistics. The eternal child wants to nix all of the rules and responsibilities and go beyond what others say is possible. It wants to return with plenty of friends to the land of the free, where divine wine and creativity pour from the earth and sky. We all want to sip from the well of the eternal youth, and this makes the eternal child naturally popular, perhaps even famous. The eternal child glimmers. It reminds us of what is possible and what is magical about this precious life. When in the, when in the light, it's joyful, it's playful, accepts all, and magic. When in the dark, it's addicted, it's selfish, adrift, and it burns out. So what this level is talking about, I think, is gaining a new relationship with your inner child and allowing the inner child to come out to play. It's about connecting to the intimacy of that aspect of who you are within yourself, at all aspects of who you are and how you become who you are now. And within um, this whole reading, I think this is talking about recognizing what you've been through, the trials, the errors, the tribulations, the chaos. It's the dead end, it's the new beginning, it's the rebirth overall. And it's also recognizing that just because you're older now, it doesn't mean that your inner child is no longer prevalent or prevalent. And the inner child is actually more so where the fire resides within you. It's that inner light. It's the inner compass. It's the child of dreaming what they want to be when they grow up, and still having that essence of fire within its soul. So I think this is accepting the magic and recognizing that it doesn't matter how old you are, you still have a youthful side of you within. Our last card to the top is the Village. And I'm assuming that's in the places. Got a mountain, a silhouetted mountain. Oh, is this it? The Village. The hometown, the family, and the tribe. The village represents us with a conundrum. On one hand, it's the place that feels mostly like home, the place to which you can always return. Nostalgia and comfort draws us back. On the other hand, it's the very place you must leave in order to grow. Around the village, an unspoken boundary exists, one most villagers do not want you to cross. So, though some support your leaving, still you hear whispers of doubt as you venture beyond its borders, leaving them behind. The energy of the village is present any time we feel restricted by a certain group, community, family, place, or ideology. It may have served us in the past, yet staying within its parameters will never saturate our thirst for life. Thank the village for all it has provided, knowing that you will someday return, but for now, the world awaits. Intimate, rooted, intergenerational, communal, when in the light. In the dark, it's small-minded, it's gossipy, it's trapped and restricted. Overall, I think the message here is there's a rebirth happening with each and every single one of us. We're recognizing where we were. We're recognizing what we've been through. We're taking in stride of the lessons that we've learned, and we're becoming that new version of ourselves. We're stripping away the old skin. We're stripping away the old to make room for the new. We're creating that new aspect of virility, of passion, of beauty. We're reigniting the fire within, recognizing and reminding ourselves of where we come from. But we are also giving fire and passion to where we're going. So ultimately, I think this was an overall great message. And I think as a collective, I think it pretty well explains what's been going on with the collective. and why it's been so difficult, because I think we were so set in our ways and we were in a position of being comfortable where we were. And the things that are very prevalent is that things aren't like they used to be, right? We're having no other choice but to be thrust out into a possible new beginning. Again, with every death, proverbial death, there's a rebirth. And where we think that there might be an ending, there's just another new beginning. But I think it's about coming into awareness of that and to recognize what might sound like it's the end of the world. It's only a beginning of a new one. And to have faith that everything is going to turn for the better than the worse. But again, it all comes back to our own actions and our own intentions of what we choose to move forward to. And overall, what we move forward with, within that intention. Sure. I'll do a quick 6 stack and then that's it. Are they conjumbled? Are they mixed up now? I can just keep shuffling. Marie, it wasn't a cage of your own making. I'll use myself as an example. Do you think I wanted to be in a 3-year isolation? Do you think I wanted to put myself in a cage? No, I did it for self-preservation. Sometimes when we're dealing with stress, it's good to isolate. It's good to go within. It's good to take yourself out of the game, to sit on the sidelines. It allows you to observe not only your own life and allow you to reflect, but it also allows you to observe everyone else and their intentions. So in essence, I think in essence, you shouldn't be ashamed of being in that hermit mode. You shouldn't be ashamed of saving yourself. Instead of belittling yourself and thinking you're doing wrong for yourself, allow your intentions and your actions to be empowering. I kind of got the sense that you're looking down on yourself because you chose to isolate. There's nothing wrong with isolating. There's nothing wrong with being alone. There's nothing wrong with being with yourself. To reflect and to assess, to try to make sense of it. And even people are saying, oh, you need to get out and get social. You need to be social again. You need to get some friends. You need to go out and see a new scenery. Yeah, we probably do. But there's a time and a place for everything. When there's a war going on outside, do we really want to venture out? Not really. When it's raining cats and dogs, or when there's a tornado moving through, do we really want to go outside? Probably not. There's a time and a place for everything, and sometimes Spirit has us sitting down for a particular reason. It's to go within, it's to reflect. And the people that choose to not reflect, and the people that choose to walk away from themselves, usually find them in a very, very bad predicament. The people that ignore themselves are the people with the problems. The people that are not in balance with their emotions are the people with the problems. The people that can't be emotionally available for you or someone else or whatever else the case, if you can't even be emotionally available for yourself, that's the problem. And usually the people that are out there drinking themselves to a stupor, the people that are out there losing their fucking minds, getting drunk and going out and doing stupid shit, are the problem. Because they're masking, they're hiding, they're running. For a long time, I dealt with abandonment issues. Anybody that was ever coming into my life, I was always very supportive, very helpful. I always gave the best part of myself. And I usually found myself depleted. I usually found myself in a place of burnout. And I always wondered why. And because of everybody's ridicule, maybe on how short I was, or whatever else the case, whatever else opinion that I took to a particular standard. And certain things I wasn't able to change. Like, I can't grow any higher, or any taller than what I already am. But people still held that against me. They still judge me for it. There's people out there judging me because I don't smile. And it's because my whole smile has gone to shit. And people wonder why I don't smile. I don't have any reason to smile. And anything I'm smiling about, I smile from the inside. My heart smiles. More so than anything else. Until I get that fixed, we'll find out. But even going to the dentist, trusting in a service to get something done, and only for them to have them totally ruin my confidence. To having them totally go through my mouth like an elephant in a china shop. To the point where the dentist had to go in and fix their shit that they did. And they totally ruined my smile. And you know what? I lost a part of myself because of it. All because of somebody else's actions. And did I give up? Yeah, I did. I gave up. And then I felt, you know what? No, I gotta think of myself. I gotta pour into myself. So I kept trying to find work that would have a half-decent benefit, so that way I could actually go forward and get it fixed for myself. So that way I could bring and fight and bring back my self-confidence. And there was one particular job that I thought I was going to be able to do this with. It was a construction job. I had really good benefits. I had a really good job. I had half decent money coming in. But the whole thing is with that, is that by the time I would come home from work, I was too exhausted to even think about getting a dentist appointment. At that point, I had too many bills to pay in order to put in for my dentist appointments. Just to sit in the chair, it's $200. Just for them to smile and look at you and talk to you is $200. Not to mention the fillings, not to mention the pulls, not to mention the sedation or the freezing or whatever else that they needed to do. I come to find out that it's going to cost me $40,000 in order to get a new smile. In that year that I worked construction, I made $44,000. So I would have had to utilize every single dollar that I made that year in order to get my new smile. And it put things in a new perspective to me. That I'm literally going to have to work seven to 8 years putting $10,000 away for 4 or 5 years in order to actually get it. So now I have the joy of getting them all pulled out and either getting pegs in with a new get-up, or pulling out the bad ones and putting in a false set, putting in a partial. I'm not too sure as to what to go with. I think there might be some sort of a vitamin deficiency somewhere along the lines. There's a couple different factors. I know the smoking never helped. And people tell me, oh, I gotta stop smoking. I gotta stop eating sweet stuff. I don't even eat sweet stuff. If I do, it might be a slice of cheesecake here and there. It might be an ice cream here and there. But I'm not outright eating candy. I might have a Werther's once in a blue moon. But other than that, it's not like an everyday thing. The dentist I went to, they said, oh, you gotta cut out all sugar. Every bit of sugar that you have, and you gotta cut it out. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna cut out sugar out of my life. I like to drink my coffee, and I'm not gonna drink it bitter. So instead of using white sugar, I use brown sugar because it's unbleached. I don't have to worry about all the chemicals in the sugar. It's less evasive on your teeth. And they're even outright telling me I can't even eat fruit. I can't eat apples, I can't eat oranges, I can't eat all this other stuff. They would rather me just take a vitamin. Like, what kind of life is that? If you can't go out and eat your favorite foods, whether they're healthy or not. So, I've come to YouTube to not only build up my confidence to speak. I've come to YouTube to provide my messages, to use my talents, to use my gifts, to build on this. And here I am trying to hope and pray that I'm going to make enough here that I can actually go forward and get my teeth fixed. That's one of the plans. So to all my members, to my supporters, I'm trying to get myself stable enough and to get enough money banked so that way I can do that. Because I'm not going to work 44 hours a week for the rest of my life in order to get something done and get shafted in the end. I shouldn't have to work that hard at a construction job to get what I need to get done. In that particular job, that construction job, I screwed up my hip. So even to go back to construction, my body can't handle it. People tell me, oh, just go get a job. Yeah, okay. The only job that I would have is this one. Because this is within my wheelhouse. This is within a place where I'm actually enjoying myself. This is within a place where I actually feel that I have a place to stand and have some sort of validity, where I can actually be my own boss. I can actually do my own thing. And within the parameters of the guidelines of YouTube, within staying in those perimeters, I can pretty well say and do whatever the hell I want, with reason. And I provide a message. I provide inspiration to the world. This is why I'm here. People tell me to go get a job. Well, this is my fucking job. And I think I do a pretty good job at what I do. I'm not only saving lives, I'm inspiring people to step into their highest timeline. And to me, that's priceless. You can't buy that anywhere. I've had 3 people tell me I should go get a job. And every time I went and I got a job, my job was sabotaged. Because there's people out there that don't want me sufficient. There's people out there that want me dead. There's people out there that don't want me to have a job. And this is another reason why I came to YouTube. Because the only one that's going to fire me is me. The only one that's gonna end this is me. The only way this is going to end is if I walk away tomorrow. And that's not going to happen. I don't give a fuck what the trolls are named. I don't care. Don't care. They control. It gives my mods something to do. They want to play a game of whack-a-mole? Fine. You build it, they will come. So I've built it. And here you are. So to my members, my supporters, and my tribe, I love you. From the bottom of my heart, right to the middle of my soul. Like, the last job I had, apparently I don't know how to do what I'm told. Meanwhile, what I was doing and what I was told was sabotaged. Because my trainer told me to do one thing, and then I was supposed to do another. So I was trained by the wrong person. I was trained by someone that was envious of my potential. Because I literally could have taken his job. Did I want his job? No. I don't want to be a trainer. I could have been a trainer, and I could have been a 10 times better trainer than him. But even the fact that he was jealous, even the fact that he was envious of my potential, I wouldn't have stepped on his foot. I wouldn't have stepped on his position out of respect for him. Because I'm a team player. I'm not a conniving fucking piece of shit. The previous job to that, I was working at previously to that, I was working at a job where I was a line worker. I was working on the line, and it had to do with yogurt and cheese, cream cheese, and whatnot. And because the line was full of people, I went up to the job postings, and I noticed that they needed a safety coordinator and cleaner. So I took it upon myself to walk around the warehouse and clean up any safety hazards. And within the whole 2 months that I worked there was not one safety mishap. 2 weeks after I left, 2 weeks after I left, someone broke their foot. Someone almost got killed by a falling skid of yogurt. And somebody actually broke their ankle. 2 different situations. And it's because of garbage being left on the floor, and it's because people weren't picking up after themselves. And people were making a mess and not cleaning it up, which made the floor slippery. And then on top of that, while that 2 months of work, I was hazed the whole time. Because I have a certain standard of the way I work within safety. I have got my health and safety certificate. I can walk in a place and I can inspect a place for health and safety. I know what to look for. So this is why I was so damn good at my job. I worked very hard at my job. I took pride in my work. And it come down to the fact of working in an unsafe place, and I took it upon myself to clean up, to make sure that it was safe, so that way I could go back to work. And I got penalized for it. So I says, well, I'm not going to work in this area if it's going to be messy like this. I'm not tripping over myself. And because they decided that, no, we're going to trip over ourselves, because then we'll actually have something to clean up after shift. And I said, you know what? I would rather move it over here into the garbage, because we were unwrapping, we were in the shredder. So we were shredding cheese. So we had this big, huge blocks of cheese, roughly about 50, 60-pound block of cheese come in, wrapped up in cellophane, and we cut it open. We stick it on a conveyor belt, and it goes through the shredder. And they're just throwing the plastic on the floor, and we're slip sliding all over this plastic, tripping over ourselves. I says, I can't work like this. I'm not working like this. I don't get paid enough to work like this. So I took my gloves off and I started picking it up off the ground, and the supervisor literally told me, stop cleaning. I said, no, I'm not going to stop cleaning because I'm not working like this. And at this point, I'm working at this place and I'm living in my car. I wasn't even making enough to pay for my car and a place. So I was living in my car. I was living out of a fucking truck stop. And every day I walked into work, I was being hazed by the supervisors. Literally being driven absolutely nuts. So I'm like, you know what? I'm ready to snap. I'm like, you know what? Ciao. Have a nice weekend. And they're like, what? What are you talking about? I says, I'm leaving early. And this was the main floor supervisor that I was talking to. He's like, what do you mean you're leaving? I says, I'm not going to be treated like this. I'll see you Monday. It was a Friday evening. It was a 12-hour shift. So I'm like, you know what? I'm leaving early. I'm taking off early. Clearly you guys don't understand. Clearly you guys don't appreciate me. Clearly what I'm doing is not in your wheelhouse, and I'm not about to step into your stupid ass fucking chaotic wheelhouse. So I'm out. Oh, and they're like, oh yeah, hang on a second. What? I turn around, what more do you want to say? And the supervisor's like, yeah, don't bother coming back. So they pretty well let me go. After a month and a half, 2 months, it's all a blur. I can't even fucking remember at this point. Come to find out, 3 days after, like Monday, Tuesday, I get a call from the actual CEO of the company asking me where the hell I am. Meanwhile, I could have went back to work on Monday and just showed up and went back to work. So I still technically had a job that I could have went to. But did I really want to go and belittle myself and go back there into fucking chaos? Not really. It wasn't worth the minimum wage. And the biggest thing about this place is there was a lot of foreigners working there. There's a lot of people from India that come in, and they didn't even have health coverage. So they were getting hurt and just going back to work and limping around work because they had no other choice but to work, and they didn't have anybody as a liaison or support to help them, and they were too scared to go to the hospital because then they would have had to pay out of pocket, which they couldn't afford it. These people were living five people to a 2-bedroom house. Like they were sharing bedrooms. 3 and 5 people were sharing a bedroom. So even the health and safety, just even that. I think the one house they had out of there was like I think a 3-bedroom house. They had almost 15 people living there in a 3-bedroom house. It's like, that's no way to live. The previous place from there, I was working at another warehouse. A warehouse that dealt with, how can I put it? They were a vanilla distributor for Canada. And they make oils, and they make extracts, and they make flavorings for different foods, food colorings. And we were on a particular rodent repellent product, and there was machine malfunction. So I took it upon myself to service the machine so that way we could take away the malfunctions of the machine. So yes, it was an improvisation, but it worked. I worked my ass off there too. I literally got laid off the day before my birthday. And I have a feeling my ex had something to do with that one, just as much as the yogurt place. I know he had a hand in it, and I wouldn't be surprised if he had a hand in the other warehouse with the stupid ass trainer. But the extracts place, they let me go apparently because I had a bad attitude. I literally just got out of the worst relationship of my entire life, and I was trying to heal from that. I was in mourning. I was in absolute disarray. I was in shambles. And every day I woke up, I had to drive by my ex's place in order to get to work. I had no other choice. It was either that or take a 45 to an hour detour. So every time I'd pass my ex's place, I'd start bawling. Every time I'd come up close to the place, I'd start bawling. To the point where sometimes I had to pull over because I couldn't fucking do it. But I got through it. I got there, I worked through it. And even if I was bursting into tears at work, I was still on the line, I was still making product, I was still doing my job, despite the fact of how shitty it felt. The fact that I just wanted to end it, the fact that I don't even know why I was even there, and how I'm even still here. But apparently I got let go because I had a bad attitude. Meanwhile, I poured my heart and soul into that job. And it was literally one of my best jobs. I loved that job at the Extracts factory. You know, I was working with a couple fucking idiot monkeys, but I didn't care. Because I was surpassing them. I was almost at the process of becoming a supervisor. So they worked that against me and said that I had a bad attitude, that I wasn't a good team player. Meanwhile, I was a better team player than any of them put together. And they were the ones lying and deceiving the supervisors and the owner of the company, where I was outright honest and forthright and transparent with the owner of the company. But apparently that wasn't good enough. To my tribe, you know damn well I have a good work ethic. The fact that I keep showing up, the fact that I'm here. The fact that I don't quit, the fact that I keep going. I'm here for the message. I'm not here for the numbers. But somehow, my numbers are rising again. Somehow, I went over 100 subscribers in the last 3 weeks. So my numbers are rising again. Whether I have 10,000 subscribers or not, it doesn't matter. I could care less, really, because it's about the message. It's the inspiration. It's the tribe. And this is what I'm here for. I walked away from my whole family. Now the only one that I speak to now is my mother, or not even my mother anymore, my father. I haven't spoken to him in 17 years, and I've reconciled with him. He's the one that him and my sister are the ones that actually saved me from this narcissistic fucking asshole. So Dad, if you're watching, I love you. My sis, if you're watching, I love you. My nephews, I love you. Everyone else can fuck off, as far as my family's concerned. Because they're all a bunch of sellouts. Specifically on my mother's side. They not only stole an inheritance, but they stole a house. And they ridiculed my life. They tried to make me hate my father. All because he was going to basically tell me the truth, that they're a bunch of shills and they shouldn't be trusted. That's why my mother tried to keep me away from my father because he was going to tell me the truth. And all these years, I always wondered why my father had so much rage and anger. And my mother pretty well baby-trapped him. And would you imagine? They've been divorced over 35, if not 40 years. It's going to be 39 years that they've been divorced. And she somehow still thinks that she's going to go after his retirement. That's after she stole my $100,000 inheritance. To be honest, I think there was more. It's like $2 million because I think they split it up between my aunt and uncle and my cousins, and everybody else got some but me. But because of me growing up and studying in magic and Wicca and all this other stuff and the tarot and all that, it was basically to make sense of my gifts. And what was meant to help me protect myself and heal myself and gain sense of myself and wisdom was made out to be black magic. Like, they went as far as banning me from any type of crystal store or anything. They ended up getting churches involved, trying to get me to go to church. Meanwhile, I didn't believe in what they were talking about. It made me feel very awkward walking into that place. But because I didn't want anything to do with it, they were thinking otherwise. So when I come here and I ask for help, it's for good reason. I'm trying to find my footing in life. I'm trying to find my place in life. And every step I go, every place I go to find my place, it's being sabotaged. Because it's not what they want me to be. They already had a pre-notion as to what they wanted me to become. And because I didn't become what they wanted, they chose to sabotage me instead. They chose to belittle me. They chose to put me in a place where I didn't want to be. And I've spent pretty well 35 to 40 years fighting for my life. No, he shaves his face. But back when he was growing a beard, he had a magnificent beard. Spirit, is there any messages to close off the evening? Is there any messages for my collective to close off the evening? Got the 8 of shells, the King of crystals, the King of acorns, the Tower, the Knight of crystals, the Strength card, the 6 of acorns, the 2 of shells, the 3 of shells, the 8 of feathers, 7 of acorns. It's just about sticking up for myself, sticking up for ourselves, exposing what we need to expose, having courage to create solutions, saying no to particular relationships that no longer serve us anymore, not allowing to accept breadcrumbs anymore. The celebration will be your enemy's tower. Walking away from the stingy pieces of shit that don't matter anymore. Maybe it's time to pop off. Maybe it's time to snap out. Maybe it's time to show them what we're made of. Because they're trying to create an imbalance where we have strength. It's about finding the beautiful moments in the fray of the chaos. It's about releasing what no longer serves us. The people, the places, the things. Exposing what needs to be exposed. And having the determination and the courage to find the solutions and the stamina to get it done. To find wish fulfillment. To move forward with purpose. To be the light. To bring the peace. To bring the healing. To know that your dedication and progress will amount to something. And to using your intuition to move forward. To win the long battle that we've been in. The fact that we're winning is breaking their fucking heart, collective. The fact that we're supporting, the fact that we're standing in our business, the fact that we're sticking up for ourselves, it's breaking their heart. If that's the case, bring me their fucking heart and I'll stomp on it. They don't deserve to have a heart if they wish to sabotage and take us away from our next level. They're trying to ruin the ability to move forward and end out old cycles. They're trying to bring back the pain and the suffering so that way you remember where you were. Remember where you come from. But that's not who I am. I'm not going to be defined as to where I come from. I'm going to step into a new position. I'm going to step into a new paradigm. I'm going to step into a new frequency and walk away from that what no longer serves me. There's always going to be evolution. There's always going to be transition. There's always going to be a transformation and a recovery. But it's what we do with it. It's up to us, collective. And if people don't like it, they can sit and take notes. Because I give no fucks. I have no spoons left for the motherfuckers that think that they're going to end me. I've got no spoons left. And that's why I called the police the other day asking for immunity, because I'm not walking away like they told me to. I drove 2.5 hours away. And I'm not hiding anymore. This spring, this summer, I'm going to get out. I'm going to enjoy myself. And I'm bringing you with me. I'm no longer hiding myself. I'm no longer going to be walking afraid. If I have to carry my ugly stick with me, and if I have to carry myself with a knife, I will. I don't need a knife. My hands are deadly weapons as they are. So people better check themselves before they wreck themselves. Or get themselves wrecked. Because I'm not putting up with any more bullshit. Get out of here, whiskey. You're not welcome here, whiskey. Bye-bye. I got no fucking spoons left. I really don't. People want to create a monster, they're going to see a monster. It's not going to be a monster that they're going to be able to handle either. And it's going to be their own fucking damn fault. If only I could find a couple lawyers to work with me. If I had a couple half-decent good war lawyers, oh, the shit that I could get done. The change that I would make happen. All right. Yeah, the pro bono lawyers, they all have rocks in their fucking head. Angels, give me a card to end out the evening. What's the best blessed message for my collective and myself? What's the deal? Who wants to speak out of the angels' activations? Finish off the night, angels. What do we need to know? We got the Fire Guardian. Your desires are not unholy. You are being encouraged to connect to the energy of desire and ignite your passions. As long as what you desire doesn't cause harm or danger to any living being, your desires are not unholy. Express yourself, play, and be untamed. For allowing these raw and authentic aspects of yourself to come to the surface also allows the universe to see you in all of your glory. Your activation? I ignite the fire of my passions and let it roar. And hope. Move with grace. This is a time to learn and adapt. You are being invited to slow down. Take your time and take in the current moment. Stop putting too much pressure and expectation upon yourself, as it's taking you away from your natural attention to detail and the expression of your creativity. There's no need to rush or force your way ahead. Good things happen when you move with tenderness and care. Activation? I trust in the ease and flow of life. Even if it's a road full of fucking potholes. I love you guys. Thank you so much for making it worth my while. Thank you for being you. I love absolutely every single one of my tribe, my supporters, my members. You all rock. You are all amazing. I appreciate you just as much as you appreciate me. And I couldn't have it any other way. I wouldn't want it any other way. See, that's the thing. We got to keep our humor. We got to keep our humor. It's sometimes the only thing that keeps us going. And it gets us through when all we want to do is cry. Instead of crying, we start laughing. Even if it's like laughing like a Mad Hatter. So, if you can't be good at it, what's the rest of it? If you can't be good at it, fill in the blanks. Thank you, Michael. Good job, Max. Be good to someone. Nice try. Nice try, Miss Josette. Good job, Leo. Good job, Michael. Please, if you can't be good at it, at least be good to yourself. So that way you can be good to others. It's the way we're going to change the world, you know. But it starts with us. It starts with you. So let's get her done. Let's take back the fucking earth. Let's take it back. It's ours. Have a beautiful evening, and I'll catch you in the next video. And to those that have donated tonight, thank you so much. Greatly appreciated.